Hi, welcome to the Nerd Spectrum podcast where we love Pokemon as much as Jigglypuff loves singing.
Yes.
That was such a weak yes.
Sorry, my throat
cracked out on you.
Yeah, my saliva caught on my throat and it was like, no, you can't speak.
Alright, so we're doing our Detective Pikachu review this episode. And it's not going to be a long episode because
it's a very children movie, so there's not much to it.
Yeah. Pardon that buzz, that was my phone. Anyway, yeah, so it's a little bit like reading a children's book or seeing a children's book where it's like 10 pages max and you already know where it's all going, right?
Yeah, the story's pretty predictable.
Yeah, exactly.
For a children's movie.
Exactly. Sorry, my dog was chewing her paw. And I don't even know how to go about this. So there's going to be comparisons between this and every video game movie, and there's going to be comparisons between this and between Sonic already. I can tell you, that's just how it's going to go. It's fine. Just let them walk around. They're just sniffing. Anyway, so how do you want to go about this? Because it's not that it's bad, but because it's so much repetition and stuff like that, like we've said, there's not like a crazy lot to it.
Yeah, I don't even know. I guess just go through the plot.
Yeah. Okay, so you start with, I think his name's Justice Smith. Mm-hmm. Tim. Okay,
such a basic name.
Let me paint this picture because it's so stunningly beautiful. You come down, the camera pans down, you see Pidgeots flying, and it's beautiful, and you see their luscious hair blowing through the wind. There's a Toro, like in this little farm area, and you hear this wailing.
Ones,
yeah, multiple Toros. Sorry. You hear a little crying, and what is it?
A Cubone!
It's a Cubone, and it's so fucking cute.
He's so cute, and he's just crying, and it sounds like exactly what you think it would sound. He's just like...
And then Tim, this little piece of shit...
He's not a piece of shit.
He's kind of an asshole, though.
At first.
Tim starts off as an asshole. He's our protagonist here. Tim walks up to it, and he's like, hey, you really pull off wearing a dead relative's skull. And, that's in the Pokedex, but, a lot of things are in the Pokedex between, all of them, so there's always, weird kind of myths about, what they are and what they do.
Yeah.
So...
He did not like that.
I mean, that's really sad.
But he's so cute. First off, okay, because I'm going to say it very often, all of these Pokemon are adorable.
I mean, I don't know about adorable. The Greninjas were kind of creepy.
Basically, all of these Pokemon were absolutely adorable, and I love every single one, and I really wish that they were real because I want to take them home.
The size, oddly enough, too, was pretty accurate to how they were. Mm-hmm. If you look at the Pokedex and stuff like that, they're about as big as you think they'd be. Almost all of them, especially the Gyarados. But we'll get to that later. So
cute.
Tim's friend... I don't remember the actor's name, but he plays Dopinder in Deadpool.
Yes.
He's trying to help Tim finally catch a Pokemon and be a Pokemon trainer. You learn that he's wanted to be one since he was little. And as his friend gives up on trying to get him to be a Pokemon trainer, what happens? He gets a call from Rhyme City about his dad. And it gets into that real quick that he and his dad a super strained relationship.
Mm-hmm. You hadn't seen his dad in
years.
10 years.
Yeah. You get a funny moment on his train ride there. You also get a really good. I love all the exposition because you kind of need to give a lot of exposition for Pokemon for people that don't understand it.
Sure.
So we're taught when we're little anyway. I know that might sound stupid, but from a young age, I was taught to be a Pokemon trainer. You got to go out, you got to you got to beat them down a little bit, throw a ball on them, capture them, against their will, and then they're friends, whatever.
Yeah.
Even though in the show it's a little different because a lot of the Pokemon join Ash out of an understanding of sorts,
out of their adventures.
Yeah, out of their free will. So whatever. Anyway, going on. You get the Lickitung. That's such a funny moment. Mm-hmm. I don't remember if there's anything significant about Lickitungs and that they can feel things because I'm pretty sure they just eat a lot. But he's sad, and what does he do? He just licks him right in the face.
Yep.
It's nasty.
Hello, is this anybody's?
But anyway, so we get Rhyme City, and they're talking about it as he's arriving, and it's this is a city where you don't need to catch Pokemon. We live in harmony. But get it? Rhyme City, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you don't catch Pokemon. You know, they join you. Everybody has a Pokemon companion, and it's no Pokeballs, no battling, which is important.
Yeah.
Because gym badges and like tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah, that doesn't exist here.
Yeah, it's all harmonious living with like nature.
And it's also like instead of you capturing Pokemon and kind of just training with them, and as most
games and TV shows show.
Yeah, you like the Pokemon along with like actual humans all have jobs.
Yeah,
and they like contribute to like the economy of it, I guess.
Sort of, because all of the Growliths and Arcanions are with the cops, like they were in the anime, where Jenny, you know, trains them and whatever.
Yeah.
And then we didn't see a Poke Center. We didn't see a Chansey. A little sad about that. But we see Ludicolo working at the coffee shop. Yeah. It's just funny. We see a Machamp guiding traffic because the Snorlax is sleeping in the middle of the street.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so glad we got to see Snorlax. And
Snorlax?
I don't know if it was because like in the Pokemon like cartoon, I always thought he was way bigger.
Yeah, I did too. But you know, like he could just be a runt.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I definitely remember in the show,
he was fucking huge.
He was huge.
Because like Pokemon could bounce off his belly.
Yeah.
He was like that kind of
And
big.
I was like, but the one in the movie seemed a little smaller. But like, you know, whatever. I'll allow it.
Yes. So what happens once he arrives at the city? He talks to the police. What do you call him? The commissioner, I guess.
I don't know.
But
the head detective. No, he was like, he called him like lieutenant or something.
Yes, he talks to his dad's lieutenant. Gets the info on him,
and then goes to his dad's apartment where he meets Lucy. Right?
Yes. And there's a Trico too, and there's a Trico just sticking to the wall.
Yeah.
And it opens his eyes, just like the fuck. There were all eight generations were in. It focused heavily on generation 1, but you also.
I think that's just because it's more nostalgic for.
Yeah. Well, you got a healthy dose of like Sapphire, and then you didn't get much Johto. The only Johto you got was when it's talking about Rhyme City. You see all the little Totodiles. So he goes to his dad's apartment. He's looking around. He finds his room that he never went to live in.
Lucy, which is kind of the first.
Oh, right. Sorry, I skipped over that.
That's kind of the first, like...
It's the catalyst for the story.
Yeah, for all of the, like...
Well, he meets a Psyduck.
To come.
Because he sees...
Oh, my God.
The Psyduck's trailing him.
Psyducks were always super annoying in the cartoon.
And they're always seen as useless from Misty.
Yeah, yes. But, like... Oh,
Psyduck played such
I fell in love with this Psyduck.
Yeah, he was adorable. Because, like...
He was so cute.
Because in the anime, it's like... You know, she's like, you useless, worthless duck.
Yeah.
He just has a headache. Like, they're in a constant state of headache.
Yeah.
And
from stress.
They developed it differently, because in this, Psyduck's not supposed to have stress or panic attacks or anything like that, because then he just goes off. Mm-hmm. He's a bomb. In the show, it was like, it takes a certain amount of panic to finally make him, like... Or not, like, it sounds like the same thing, but, like, Misty kicked him in the head once, and, like, he didn't give a single shit.
Yeah.
Misty was a mean trainer.
She really was. She was kind of the worst.
Yeah, she was pretty hard on her Pokemon.
But yeah, so you meet Lucy and her Psyduck, and it's kind of just like, what? She was like, I have this scoop, I have this feeling in my bones, something's wrong. What do you know about Harry, which is
Yeah, she's been checking
Tim's
up
dad.
on the mailbox, like, every day, waiting for somebody to open it.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, he died. And she's kind of just like, well, if you know anything, you come find me. I work for the news.
Yeah. CMN, not CNN.
Yeah.
So he goes upstairs. He starts digging through his dad's stuff. He sees his old room.
He finds that vial
of
gas.
He finds a vial of R.
Gas.
And he sprays it in his face, and he's like, what the fuck?
Smells gross, goes out the window.
All these APOMs inhale it.
And they go crazy.
Yeah, they get rabid. But, like, that's not shown yet, because what happens is...
well, you see it in their eyes once they, like, inhale the smoke.
Yeah, they don't...
But you don't see, like, the effect it has on them yet.
So Tim goes into... Or, he hears the door open and close. He sees, like, stuff's been knocked over and whatever. And
you get...
Pikachu!
Yes!
And he's like, I know you can't understand me, but, like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's
and
like,
it's like he can understand.
he's like, did you just talk? And he's like, oh, you understand me? It's been so lonely. And then the Apom's bust in and start beating ass and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because art enhances a Pokemon's power to the point of like a frenzy almost.
Kind of like
They go berserk.
kind of like bringing to the Pokemon to a very like natural animalistic state
Yeah.
that they're not,
Accustomed to.
that they just aren't at
Yeah.
all, to be honest.
None of them are like...
Even the Pokemon that we
Even the
encounter,
Cubone.
yeah, even the ones we encounter in nature, like later on in the movie, aren't aggressive or hostile or anything.
Yeah, exactly. We actually skipped the opening of this.
Oh shit!
Because it opens and then it's like...
and then it just goes into that.
Okay, dial back a
So
little
I
bit.
guess the opening's where everything starts off.
Okay, so if you've ever seen a Pokemon movie, which...
Oh my god.
Pokemon the movie, and then Pokemon Mewtwo's Return. Because, like, it's implied that... I don't know if it's implied, but there are, like, Easter eggs where it's like, maybe there is a continuity between the cartoon and the show, or the movie, because it's like, Mewtwo escaped, 20 years ago, but they recaptured it, and it starts off just like that. So, like, the trailer actually didn't spoil Mewtwo's being, because it happens with him immedially.
Yeah.
You see him in the little dome like he was in the original where he was created, and then he's escaping, and like psychically he disarms everything and busts out.
Yeah.
And then you see him chasing a car.
And then presumably
He kills Tim's dad.
yeah.
So
And then we find out that's where Pikachu came from, because he was
Harry's companion.
Mm-hmm.
Or Pokemon companion. Because they say Pokemon companion, I honestly think it's stupid. They should have said companion. Or his Pokemon.
Yeah.
But I get it. Rhyme City's all about that equal Pokemon human rights.
Yes.
So, the Apoms attack Tim, and it's basically like a entire, like, couple of minutes of him just trying to fucking get away. And, like, they're really getting at him, like, trying to do him in.
Yeah, and Pikachu just kind of going
He's
along.
like, I'll help you. And he's, like, screaming, help, help, help. And he's like...
But it's like, and it's also funny because you have to think about the fact that nobody...
People are just probably seeing this Pikachu scream Pika.
Where he's just like, Pika, Pika, Pika.
Yeah. He's like, people are so insensitive. How dare they not help you? Right. So, he escapes the Apoms, and they finally return to normal.
Mm-hmm. After just a couple of minutes of being crazy.
Yeah, after a couple minutes of his crazy state. And Tim's like, don't talk to me. And he's like, looking at the Apoms, he's like, get the fuck away from me. But they give him his pants back because they also stole his pants. And what happens? It's like he's talking to Pikachu and people are staring at him like he's fucking crazy. And he's like, do you understand him? And, you get that part from the trailer where she's like, of course, Pika Pika. And he's like, you're cute too. I was like, kid, they don't get me.
Yeah.
And you see so many more Pokemon. Oh my god.
You get the little Charizard.
Yeah, Charmander.
Charmander with his little...
Yeah, his little fire breath. You see little
make some
Cubone.
food.
Oh, so many fucking Pokemon.
So many Pokemon, they're all so adorable. Oh
It's
my
great.
god.
So you get then next trailer part is when they're sitting down talking at the coffee shop, and the Ludicolo serves them, coffee. It's like, these aren't coffee. It's like, not an addiction. Every one of these is a choice, and I can stop what I want.
Yeah,
But
and then I think that's when he really says, like, I don't know. I just need to find who. Like, Pikachu is like, I need to find Harry because this hat says return to Harry, and I don't remember anything.
yes, you also get like a lot of you get some dirty jokes from Pikachu. He's sort of like Ryan Reynolds is still like
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, he's still the adult liaison, if you will, where he makes it funny for them. And Tim's more of the kid funny.
Yeah.
So they go to CMN next, right? Because that's where they find Lucy, or they go to Lucy.
Lucy.
And this is where the ultimate plant for a twist in a child story happens, because you see the mayor, I guess, or like,
well, the creator of Rhyme City.
Yeah, well, he has to like have a title though. You see,
Creator.
Okay, fine.
That's what they said. They don't call him a mayor or anything the entire time. They're just like the man that made it happen.
All right. You see the creator of Rhyme City. I don't remember his name. I'm not.
Me
gonna
neither. I don't remember anybody's name. And his son.
And then you find out. Well, the guy had a degenerative disease and you find out his Ditto turns into a person, which, if you've ever watched the cartoon, cannot happen. And Dittos can also not get the eyes right. That's like their tell.
Yeah.
So, plants the biggest fucking, what's it called? It plants the biggest, like, seed of a twist.
Not just because of the Ditto being able to turn into a human, but also because they make it seem that the son is a piece of shit. And that the dad is like, you know, like, I just want to have a good relationship with my son, and the son's kind of just like,
I do remember the son's name,
forget
Roger.
your dad. Like, whatever, I'm tired of you, and you always love Pokemon more than me, and blah, blah, blah. So you already get that, like, oh, well, he's supposed to be the bad guy, but of course he's not going to be the bad guy, because this is a fucking children's movie.
Right. And so Lucy ends up helping Tim find Harry's, what is it?
Just like what he's been working on?
No, his informant.
Yeah, for the R.
So they go to the docks.
Which I was like, Team Rocket.
Right, everybody was like Team Rocket.
I was like,
it didn't
mad.
Happen. Yeah. So what happens is, after that, they go to the docks to find Harry's informant, and plot twist, it's the mime. It's Mr. Mime. And even Pikachu's like,
yeah.
Mr. Mime's such a fucking piece of work. So, you know, you see that in the trailer too, where it's like a lot of like, you know,
he's miming and like trying to run and get on the motorcycle.
He's like, Tim, stop him. And he's like, whatever. So they sit him down, they shine a light on him. Pikachu's like, well, you be the good cop, I'll be the bad cop, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And Tim's the one that actually figures out how to fuck with him.
He like, you have to mime
back
at him.
Yeah, you have to mime back at him. You have to open the door, go in, talk to him, and he's like, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so he starts pouring gasoline out, and he's like, gets a match, and Mr. Mime's like, no, I'll talk. And,
yeah. Which was so funny and so messed up.
Right? He blows...
For a children's movie.
He blows out the match like 2 times, and then finally, like, they get the information from him, and he already made, like, a gasoline trail, and, like, they're like, we figured it out.
He, like, throws the match, but, like, not even a real match, like, just...
Yeah, and they all just look up, or, like, Mr. Mom's like, and then it's, you know, whatever. They go to the next stage.
You don't see that
you don't see it happen to Mr. Mom,
but
yeah.
But us as adults know that he probably got set on fire.
But does that do damage, you know? Like,
I don't know, because everything... He fell off his bike whenever he was just, like, stop. So, like, you gotta assume that it had some sort of effect on him.
Oh, mimes. The worst.
Yeah.
So, then you go
to the battle.
Yeah, there's
underground Poke Battles.
Which is, you see the Loudreds or the DJs.
Yeah.
And they're doing, like, a like EDM type thing.
They're doing, like, a cappella.
Yeah. It's really cool. And you see a Gengar fighting a Blastoise. Mm-hmm. Crazy. Because Gengar's fucking huge.
Yes.
But it's awesome. So...
It's just a good time.
I don't know if it's a good time, because they're not supposed to be battling.
Yeah, it's a little fucked up.
It's like underground fighting.
Once you get to, like, the Pikachu battle. Then it gets real fucked up.
Yeah, I guess. So, you see a Togepi. You see a chick with a Togepi.
Yeah.
Wasn't Misty, though. But, you know, you see...
Would have been a good Easter egg to have just thrown in there.
Yeah, you see a lot more Pokemon in that little ring. And that's also really cool, because... just, like, more exposure to, like... It's just, like, another show of power, I guess, of, like, how, like, advanced their tech is and how they're doing, like, how everything has been created up to this point. But anyway, so... Yeah. The leader of the ring, or the, you know...
The guy that runs it,
that runs it, he runs to Tim and he's like, that Pikachu, you know, fucked up my Charizard and I want a rematch, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and it's just like, what?
Yeah. Well, okay, we've seen Pikachu take down.
We know what Pikachu can do, but,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
We've never seen it in, like, this case or whatever. And even Pikachu's kind of just like...
So they do the ring.
So they set up a rematch in exchange for his intel.
Yeah, on who gives the R, or who's, like, supplying the R.
Yeah.
Which leads to Pikachu trying to fight Charizard. And he can't.
Who has been influenced.
Yeah, he's been gassed. He gives him the R.
Uh-huh.
He roids him up.
Yep.
That's what R stands for. Roids.
Gross.
He roids him up, and, you know, Charizard's like a fucking monster. And Pikachu cannot use, any
of his powers, because he forgot.
Yeah, and he even asked Tim, he's like, Tim, what should I do? And he's like,
And Tim kind of, he's like, here's what is your best power play, this is what you should do. Pikachu's like, no, I can't do that, it'll knock me out, I'm gonna do this instead. But he can't do it either. He can't do any of it.
He tries it, and he's like, I can't do it while people are watching.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like, he kind of since his
Memory's
memory got wiped, he can't remember how to do any of his power plays either.
Which is kind of funny because there's like an animal thing like that, sort of like if you've watched Wilfred, where a gun's pointed at Wilfred and he's like he can't use his nose anymore. Mm-hmm. Like just stress overall can do that to an animal. So it's a little funny like that. So Tim, of course, busts in and stops Charizard from eating him.
Yeah.
And then the dude what happened to him? He gets knocked over. The Charizard
the Charizard I think knocks him over with his tail, and so he, of course, because he's a fucking bad guy.
This motherfucker has a band lawyer of R, just like
in his coats, in his inner coat pockets, like a fucking drug dealer.
And it all
just gets smashed. So all of the Pokemon that are there get influenced by it, and just
they lose.
They unleash.
They unleash their powers. Yes. The Loudred start like using their powers to like really like destroy the ring and everything. Mm-hmm. While the Pokemon are also attacking their whatevers. So dude escapes. No, does he?
No.
But he leaves his Charizard. Whatever.
No, well, Tim gets the information while all the fighting is happening, and he's like, oh, from here.
It's just from the doctor. Like, that's all you get from him. It's like the doctor supplying the R or whatever. And then he bails. Meanwhile, Charizard's still rampaging. So what does Pikachu do? Because, of course, why wouldn't they have one? There's a Magikarp in a tank.
Yeah.
So Pikachu's like...
tries to kick it.
He throws it, and he's like, go. You know, they can turn into a Gyarados. And Tim's like... Why? Plot twist, it actually turns to a Gyarados. Right as they're about to be eaten.
And at that time...
Charizard loses the effect of the R.
And it's so cute because he looks like a puppy. Like, he's scared and he's like, no.
His tail cannot be extinguished or he dies. Of course he looks like a puppy. And that Gyarados was fucking huge.
I was like, oh.
So, you know, of course, cops show up. They pick him up. And it's just like the lieutenant.
Him and Pikachu up.
And then the lieutenant's like, a battle ring, because they're illegal. It's like, I'm going to let you off this because grief is, you know... Wild. Makes you some stupid shit.
Yeah, but then Tim's like, but my dad's still alive. Like, look, here's his Pikachu. And he's like, that doesn't prove anything. He's like, but yes, it does. And he tries to tell him that there's, like, all these things going on, but he doesn't want to hear it because, you know, it's a kid's movie, so adults aren't going to pay attention to you.
Right.
And he shows him the footage from the opening scene with the car being exploded and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, there's no way that your dad would have survived that. And he's sad.
Mm-hmm. And then you get that real touching moment, but it's like a boy and his dog, where it's like, kid, I didn't know your dad, or I can't remember your dad, but I know if he was here, you know, he'd give you the biggest hug. And it's super, like, sad and touching, because his ears are just down, and he's not wearing the hat or anything. It just looked...
Yeah, and you just get more of his backstory about, you know, how his mom died, and it just really messed him up, and his dad, like, escaped into work, and, you know, he didn't want to deal with it.
Well, I think that puts... I don't think it was necessarily just that, but it was also, like... Tim couldn't make that, like, leap as well to his dad.
Yeah.
It's like a two-way street, because it's not just all put on, like... him being a bad dad.
Yeah, no, he didn't want to get on the train.
Yeah, so he made the choice to, like, not. And that's why his dad especially dove into work. It's because now he didn't just lose his wife, he lost his kid.
Yeah.
And then
they get picked up by the bad guy SUV.
Yes. Yeah, and SUV pulls up.
Which is also, like, such a call, because literally Pikachu is like, that's not a bad guy vehicle.
He's like, that's a bad guy thing. And they're taken to the creator of Rhyme City, who's like...
Yeah.
Oh, and then we get to see an evolution.
Uh-huh.
We see an evolution where it's like an Eevee, and then it turns into a Flareon. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, so cool.
Yeah, and then the guy is like, isn't it amazing how Pokemon can evolve into their best form? Which, again, is another, like, this is gonna be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, nobody talks about Pokemon that way without trying to, like, have something up their sleeve. And so they get there, whatever, and he's like, your dad's not dead. You want to know why? Because I employed him. And he's like, what? And then he has this, like, interactive...
Oh, he has, like, his entire room is, like, a 3D hologram where he sees a thing, and he sees...
And he replays...
the footage. Again. And it's his dad crawling out of the car. You don't see his face.
You don't see his face. You never see his face.
Yeah, you
during
never see
any
his face.
of it. Because there's, like, flashbacks to, like, Tim's childhood, and you also don't see his face there either. But you see him crawling out of the car, and Pikachu being there with him and being like, Pika Pika, whatever, and then that's where you get...
Mewtwo lifts him up, or Mewtwo makes the Pikachu faint and then, like, lifts him up.
And erases his memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's presumed he erases his memory.
Yeah, and he also is like...
And he faints.
Yes.
So then the footage ends, and it's just like, it assures Tim that he is alive.
And that Mewtwo has him.
So they go to the facility with Lucy, because they use...
Because she's the one that gives him the info of where it is.
Well, but the way she does it, she's like, I spilled coffee on him. On her boss. And then she like, takes his computer. She's like a complete, like...
She's great.
She's great, but, like, the way she goes about getting her intel is completely, like...
I mean, it's what a real journalist would do. It.
Yeah, so they're in the car, and you get a lot more comedy from Ryan Reynolds or Pikachu, because he's like, Tim, you didn't say that her Pokemon companion was a Psyduck. These things are bombs.
And it's great because they're listening to, like, really calming classical music, and he's like, so you're telling us we have to listen to this so your head doesn't explode?
Yeah.
And the Psyduck's just like, Psyduck.
Yeah. And it's just like, Psyduck's like, rub my feet. And he's like, I won't rub your feet. And so he's like, I'll explode, essentially. Like, you get the entire conversation.
With him just saying Psyduck over and over again.
Yeah, so...
And you also get Pikachu in a baby seat.
Yeah, oh my god.
He's really cute.
And Psyduck's like a grown, like, not like a grown person, but he's essentially a toddler because they buckle him in just like a normal...
Yeah, he doesn't have to be in a baby seat.
So they break into the facility, and they immediately run into
all of these experimented on Pokemon.
Yes, you see Greninjas with like a power upgrade. You see Torterradons in a little garden, and it's like the growth enhancements, I believe.
Yeah, that's what the sign says, but they point out that
they
look like regular sized ones. So you're kind of just like,
Yeah, and then while Lucy is taking pictures and writing down notes on like everything she's seeing, Tim goes to the main lab and finds where Mewtwo escaped. And so they start hitting buttons, essentially, because like...
Basically.
Yeah, how else are you going to... Well, like, Tim's like, a lot of these files are corrupted.
Yeah, because everything was destroyed when Mewtwo escaped.
But eventually he finds the day one, or like he finds the night...
He finds the night of it happening, and you see from there... Because it also has that, like, technology
that
where...
3D hologram.
Yeah, it has that. So you get the night of... Or will you get, like...
No, because Pikachu shows him day one.
No. You get the, like, lead up to all of it where they're kind of experimenting on Mewtwo, and you see that that's where they're getting the R from him.
That's the first file they see.
Yeah, and then you get the day of where you see Pikachu kind of be the reason.
No, that's not till later.
No, it is.
Because Mewtwo restores his memory.
You work backward. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You're wrong.
I'm not wrong on this one.
Yes, you are.
Anyway, so you see, you'll realize it when we get to it, because it's how can you forget moment. So what happens is, after they find that file, they go back, Pikachu takes them back even further to like day one, where they start building everything, and then you see more and more about the experiments and the R and like everything. So you see that Tim's dad was hired to capture Mewtwo. And then Tim thinks he's the bad guy.
Yes.
And so, as they're trying to escape, at that point, as they're trying to escape, right? It gets very horror movie-ish.
Yeah.
It gets very alien-y, where it's like Lucy's gone.
Yeah, because you see the
Roger, the son,
presumably, in a vehicle in one of those bad guy SUVs driving towards the place, but he also has like one of those bad guy
suitcases
that is actually a fucking computer and has like 4 different screens on it, so he can see that what they're doing, and he can hear everything, so he lets loose the Pokemon before they get there.
The Greninjas.
Yeah.
Well, after they get there. Oh, well, before the bad guys get there.
Yeah.
Okay. So he unleashes the Greninjas, and they get Lucy. Because you also see Psyduck see them, and he, like, before he can freak out, I assume they get her.
Yeah.
And so it gets real weird and, like, quiet and alien-esque, and goo falls on Pikachu's hat, and he's like, ugh, gross, what's that? And then they're just like, they see more goo fall, and they're looking around like, where is it coming from? And then they look up, and the Greninjas are there like an alien, essentially.
Yeah.
And they freak out. But they manage to escape, obviously. And they
Outside.
They run through the Totara garden. Mm-hmm. The normal-sized ones.
That leads to the outside.
Yeah, that leads to the outside. And then the Greninjas are still in pursuit, and Psyduck starts obviously wigging out.
Freaking out. And they're like, stay calm. And then Pikachu's like, no.
We need the bomb.
Don't stay calm.
He calls him a neurotic duck, and that's what sets it off.
Insulting him so he can, like, freak out and go off, essentially.
Yeah, so the Psyduck lets out, like, a psionic blast that completely wipes away the Greninjas pursuing them. And then, the ground starts, like, shifting and blowing up and, like, rising all around, like, sporadically. And, plot twist, that's the Torterradon garden.
The big one.
They are the facility. Like, they're the facility grounds. Yeah. They're everything around it. It's crazy.
Multiple of them, too.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4.
You see later on that they are the mountains that you see in the background.
Yeah. And
which is pretty cool.
It's very Godzilla-esque.
Yeah.
But more peaceful. Yeah.
They just wanted to take a nap.
They escape it, but at the cost of Pikachu, because he gets damaged. Like, a rock hits him, like, somewhere kind of vital. And you actually see, like, blood a little bit, I think.
Yeah, you see,
his fur's a little red.
Yeah. But they fall into a lake and then get out, and then that's where you see Pikachu kind of being like losing it.
Yeah, he's like, it's alright, kid, don't worry about me, blah, 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 and then he faints.
Yeah.
And then you see a Bulbasaur.
Oh my god.
Yeah, your favorite Pokemon of this movie.
He's so cute. I can't.
So you see a Bulbasaur, and Tim starts screaming at him. He's like, help me, we need help. Like, I need a healing Pokemon. And Lucy is like, they don't understand you. He's like, but he feels what I'm saying.
Because that was something that was...
Pikachu touches on, where it's like, they understand what you're saying. Or, like, we don't...
They don't understand what you're saying, but they can feel what you're saying as long as you're open to that connection.
Yeah, this movie kind of hits a lot on, like, how we should treat animals. And, like, nature, where it's like, an animal isn't always an intelligent being, but it's definitely...
But it's not stupid.
Yeah, no, they get it. Yeah. And that's why, animals will stay away from killers.
So he, like, kind of calms himself down instead of, like, trying to scream at this Bulbasaur. And is like, he needs help, I need help. And he kind of walks away and he's like, oh my god, I'm not going to get help. Pikachu's going to die.
And then a horde of them come up. It's just, like, all the little Bulbasaurs.
And they all start just talking. They're like, meow.
Yeah, they make weird, like, it's not like a Bulbasaur. Like, none of the Pokemon actually, except for Pikachu, I don't think any of the Pokemon actually say their, like, name. Because they, like, make that, kind of noise. Almost like a meowth.
Yeah, most of them don't like how they would normally just say their names.
Jigglypuff does.
Yeah.
Well, she, like, huffs. It's not like a puff. Yeah. So that's kind of funny. Yeah, so the little horde of Bulbasaurs come, and they lead just Tim and Pikachu. They don't let Lucy go. To the healing Pokemon, they tell him to place him on the rock. Mm-hmm. And when he does, Mewtwo shows up. They all leave, and then it's Mewtwo. Yeah. And so Mewtwo restores the memory. And this is where we disagree, because this is where, after he heals Pikachu, he tells him, you've brought me the sun. Mm-hmm. Good job, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, what are you talking about? Then he restores memory, and it shows Pikachu sparking the plugs, mm-hmm. which lets, what helps him relinquish himself of that. And then, whatever. And that's when Pikachu's like, oh god, I can't believe I did that. And as he's having that moment of, I can't believe I did that. No, and it's also because when he did that. Well, it hasn't gotten to that yet. Because it's not till he's on his own that he finds out, like, the truth. Because you get, like, 3 plot twists, right? So at first, the plot twist... No, because he shows him that, his sparking and whatever. But then it also shows, like, from Mewtwo's perspective, kind of, the crash. And he was... Oh, I know what you're saying. Yeah, and he talks to Pikachu, and he was like, like, humanity, blah, blah, blah. He gets cut off... Right. Because he gets captured. Because Roger, that douche nozzle. Yes, they get him, and so you... Was that hard for you to see? That was hard for me to see.
Yes, it was. Because it made me very sad. But you get, like, because he was cut off, he didn't get to fully show what he needed to show. And so it made it look like it was a Pokemon against humans type of thing.
Yes. Which was, like, the second plot twist, I guess, technically.
Yeah.
This has a lot of, like, twists.
There's so many, but it's all very predictable.
Yeah.
At the same time.
A lot of twists for kids, but pretty predictable.
But yeah, he gets captured, whatever. They kind of leave Tim and Pikachu to whatever.
Yeah, Tim and Pikachu finally make it back to Lucy, and then Pikachu's like, I can't be with you. I betrayed Harry, so obviously I'll betray you.
Yeah, and Tim's like, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't remember that.
He says he feels it in his jellies.
Yeah.
Because that's, Pikachu's thing.
That's his thing. He feels it in his jellies. And
he rubs his cheeks when he does that.
I know, I love it. Obviously, that's where his jellies are.
Obviously. But he shocks Tim and then runs away.
Yeah.
And
then Tim tells Lucy that they need to get back to the city immediately.
Okay, so then we get the two dividing storylines. But before we get to the dividing storyline... No, okay, we'll go with Tim because we have to go with Tim first. Mm-hmm. Tim makes it back. Mm-hmm. And then he finds out...
And first, there's a citywide parade.
There's a Poke Parade.
There's a Poke Parade to celebrate the, like, merging of the Pokemon and the humans in the city.
It's like the city's anniversary or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 10-year anniversary or some shit. But that's going on. There's a parade, there's balloons of Pokemon, and there's that.
Which, if you can't see where this is going, just think...
You will.
Yeah, you will. Think about it a little bit. So he goes and tells the creator, like, that he got Mewtwo and blah, blah, blah. But then the plot twist that we all saw coming was that...
He's the bad guy.
Yeah, and he has Mewtwo captured. Mm-hmm. Or he has Mewtwo in his office.
Yeah, because in the lab, when they were looking through all the files that weren't corrupted and going through all that stuff, you see that they were able to extract the R gas from Mewtwo, and then that before Mewtwo escaped, they were working on, like, this connective head link that would...
allow you to live within the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Your mind swaps with the Pokemon, essentially.
Basically. Well, we don't really know that until he does it. But you essentially get, like, you're either going to control the Pokemon or, like, some shit's going to happen like that.
Yeah. So he puts on the link. Mm-hmm. We'll call it a neural link, because that's basically...
It's what it is.
It's the bad guy device in almost every movie. Yeah. You get the neural link, and he becomes Mewtwo.
Yeah, he goes into Mewtwo's body, which, and through that you find out that for the Pokemon to be receptive, I guess, to the change of, like, the humans getting into the Pokemon's bodies, they need to be in a, like, wild state, and that's what the gas is for.
Yeah. That gets real complicated, I guess.
A little bit.
Because that's when it gets, like, it's not like the story gets muddy, because it's all easy to understand, but, like...
But it's, like, a lot of steps.
Yeah, there's, like, a whole fucking list of things you need to do. So, he does that. And then I think what happens, Tim... Does he just, like, kill him? Or does he try to kill him? Is that what happens?
He kind of just throws him.
Yeah.
Knocks him out.
And then... What? It flashes to Pikachu, I believe. Because nothing really crazy happens until Pikachu figures out what he figures out. So you get one of the other greatest things about this movie. You get the Pokemon theme song. Yeah. You get the I wanna be the very best. And
it's like, but it's sad because it's just Pikachu walking on this dirt road by himself, being sad, singing it.
Yeah, and then he goes across the bridge, and he gets to the bridge. He's like, I remember this place.
Yeah, and he's like, Vision. Why?
And so he sees the Greninja attack, essentially, in the ground. And
yeah, the little, like, stars. Or something.
Right. And then he's like, what? So he looks down at the crash, and it starts, like...
It's starting to come back to him.
Yeah, it all hits him at once, where it's like, if that wasn't Mewtwo, then, whatever. So then he's like, I gotta go to Tim.
Yeah.
Tim wakes up. He opens a door or something like that. And who falls out?
It's his son.
It's the son of the creator. It's Roger.
And he's all taped up and like, rah.
Yeah, he's like crying and freaking out. Like,
you know how it be, and then that's when you realize that it was his Ditto.
Yeah, the Roger's the Roger we thought was the bad guy takes off his sunglasses he's been wearing the entire fucking time.
And it's fucking creepy ass Ditto eyes.
Yeah, which was hilarious.
Yes.
It was horrific.
It was. It was so bad.
But I feel so stupid for not realizing that.
That it was Ditto.
That it was Ditto. Because he wears sunglasses the entire fucking movie up until this point.
Yeah, and it's not like he's wearing sunglasses in the dark, like, you know?
Yeah, so it all looks super casual and like whatever, like,
and like
bad
what a bad guy
look.
would. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, that was like the best plot twist
For you.
for me. Yeah, definitely. So what happens? So
then Mewtwo goes, and it just really like once you get the like reveal that it was him that was the bad guy all along, it really just goes into like this is it. This is the bad stuff that I was planning on all along. So you get Mewtwo flying into the city and being like, I did it. I've merged the Pokemon. We're gonna be better. We're gonna.
This is the next step of evolution.
Yeah.
Is to become the Pokemon.
Exactly, and then of course
He lets off a
all
psionic.
of the Pokemon balloons were filled with Argas.
He lets off a psionic blast, which blows up the balloons.
And then because he's Mewtwo and he has like psychic kind of powers.
He's like the second strongest Pokemon, technically, I think.
So he has all these cool ass powers. He starts
He
merging all the humans to their Pokemon.
And it literally is like almost like it's almost like a Dragon Ball Z, where it's like, except they don't become like one combined. It's more like the people literally disappear into their Pokemon companions.
Yeah, and it's just like their not their psychic mix, but their consciousness
Yes.
becomes their Pokemon. Like the Pokemon no longer are there.
Yeah, because Lucy becomes her Psyduck, and she like looks in the mirror, and she's like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah,
Or-
she's like Psyduck.
Yeah. Literally. So like everybody's being merged and whatnot, and that's like its own crazy thing.
Yeah. And he's kind of just going like block by block,
Yeah,
merging everybody.
And then what? Pikachu shows up, and that
Well,
fight.
you get yes.
Because Tim's fighting the Ditto, because the Ditto keeps turning into crazy shit.
People,
Well, it went from
different Pokemon.
Roger to Lucy. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, I have no hang-ups about hitting a woman I'm attracted to. Or like, you know what I mean? Just because you look like her doesn't mean I won't like fight back. And then the Ditto starts like beating his ass. So that fight's going down.
And then you get Pikachu fighting Mewtwo.
Yes, he flies in on a Pidgeotto, I believe. Or a Pidgeot.
No.
Does he not?
That's not later.
Oh, okay. He flies to a roof, right?
Yeah.
Or, not he flies. He
And then he like jumps on the balloons and...
Yeah, he gets Mewtwo's attention and starts, that thing starts going down. And he still can't use his power, so it's basically just evade as much as possible.
Yeah, it's just him trying to jump around and...
Whatever.
distract.
So, you want to just go to the end of the conflict?
Yeah.
As Mewtwo's pursuing Pikachu, I think... What happens to Tim? Because what happens is he gasses the Ditto, but since the Ditto is already enhanced to be able to become a human,
it doesn't really do much.
It turns him into a puddle. He overroids essentially.
Yeah, and he's trying to get
he's trying to get the neural link
off
of the creator. But then he gets knocked out and he's hanging onto a window, and finally Pikachu can use his powers.
Yeah, and he turns into a Cubone, and he's using his little bow to try and knock his fingers off to make him fall. And then Pikachu sees it because he's on the roof of the building across from where Tim's hanging off. And
he uses Bull Tackle.
Mm-hmm. To just into Mewtwo. And that's enough.
That's enough of a distraction, because he's like, Mewtwo can't beat a Pikachu, or a Pikachu can't beat a Mewtwo, whatever, which is a little stupid because it's like that's very game-esque. Whatever. So that happens. Tim melts the Ditto.
Because the actual sun that was locked
up, he kicks him.
Yeah, he hits him with like a lamp or something.
That got real dark.
The Ditto, and then he pulls Tim up and whatever, and then the Ditto comes back and like knocks him out, like throws him aside, and it knocks him out or whatever. But then Tim's able to make him into a puddle and whatever.
And then he takes off the neural link. Mewtwo's no longer the guy, and he looks at Pikachu and is like, "The fuck's going on here?"
Yeah, and it's kind of just like whatever, and
So Mewtwo restores everybody back to their thing, and
to their people.
Yeah, and
separate from their Pokemon.
Lucy sees Psyduck, and she's like, let's never do that again. So the Pokemon were kind of aware of it.
Yeah, I think it's more just like they got pushed aside inside of their own bodies.
Yeah, but like they were like, oh hey,
kind of like
in
Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah, actually, with Doc Ock and Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
So Mewtwo restores everybody, and then kind of like what's been implied the entire time is confirmed.
Yeah.
The reason he needed Tim was to also bring Tim's dad out of Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
Because he merged them together.
Whenever the accident happened, in order to save his life.
Yes. So...
Because his Pikachu...
offered himself.
Consented to it. He was like, do it.
But they don't need to be crazy. It's just like a consent.
It's an openness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then everything goes white.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Pikachu first in the picture looking at Tim. And it's like, hey, kid. And then it pans up and it's Ryan Reynolds as his dad.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
It's weird. It's weird to see Ryan Reynolds not like a charming...
Be a dad.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm used to seeing it I'm used to him in a rated R situation here.
Yeah, not family friendly.
Exactly. Dad. And Pikachu's Pikachu.
He's Pikachu again. He can't talk anymore.
Which is so weird. Yeah, and so he's like, this is your ticket to Grams, blah, blah, blah.
She'll meet you at the station. Just paralleling
the
opposite.
Yeah. And he's like, I think I'll stay here if that's okay. And you get that touching dad moment, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, so what are you going to do now? And he's like, I think I might do detective work. And Pikachu, makes Pika-Pikas. And he's like, I think you like that.
Yeah.
And Tim's like, so you want to get some coffee? And he's like, I can't. I just can't shake that feeling. Going back to, earlier in the movie. Yeah. And that's kind of where it closes. There wasn't an end credit scene or anything like that. Mm-mm. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, and they probably could make another one.
This actually ended up being a lot longer than it was, than I thought it would be. But it was a good movie.
Overall, it was a really good movie. It was super cute. I loved it. It was a good time.
All the Pokemon were exactly as you thought they'd look.
Yes.
And it was amazing to see it.
Mm-hmm. As children that grew up
with
the Pokemon.
Yeah.
It was really nice to see them.
Was there any Pokemon you wanted to see that you didn't see?
I didn't see a Butterfree.
You wanted to see a Butterfree?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That episode was sad.
The one where he leaves?
Yes.
Yeah, for his love?
Yes.
He comes back eventually, I think.
Yeah, but it's still sad to see.
Yeah, because you see
honestly,
Ash cry.
A lot of the original Pokemon.
Well, because he parts ways with them. He lets them go do their thing.
Yeah, but a lot of those episodes are actually really sad.
Yeah.
So I guess it was nice to see, this was probably what happened to them. in the show, Ash let him go and they went to go live their lives.
Yeah.
All nice and happy. So, that was cool.
I don't know if there's a Pokemon I want. I saw Charmander, and I love Charmander. I saw, all my favorites.
And I saw a lot of Squirtles, too.
There were a lot of Squirtles.
Oh my gosh. No Squirtles with the sunglasses, though.
That would have been a funny callback.
It would have. I feel like they I mean, maybe not a missed opportunity, because I feel like if they did incorporate a lot from, the cartoons,
mm-hmm.
then people would have been you're just pandering to all of
Fan
us.
service.
Yeah. But I also feel like you could have put somebody with Ash's cap on in the background.
Sort of implied that the guy that you see at the beginning when they're talking Pokemon Championship, whatever, that's supposed to be...
Oh, the one that in the fight?
Yeah, that's supposed to be
Ash?
Not Ash, but Red, since Red came before Ash.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why he's wearing what he's wearing. But yeah.
I don't know, I kind of just expected more, callbacks to the show.
Yeah.
But I guess, it wasn't too... you didn't need it. You got all these fucking Pokemon that
Which is a callback in itself.
Exactly, that we've been wanting to see since we were fucking children. And interacting with people, this is what they would look like,
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think I saw everything I wanted to see. I saw a Charizard, I saw a Blastoise, I saw an Eevee, I saw a Flareon, maybe more evolutions. Maybe. I saw Growlithe and Arcanine. All the Pokemon that I love, I absolutely saw. I think if anything, I want to see a Haunter or a Ghastly or Ghost Pokemon. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was pretty happy with all the Pokemon that we were
Overall,
exposed
all
to.
the Pokemon were really great. I feel like we got a lot of the first generation starter Pokemons. Like there's like
A
plenty of
ridiculous
them.
amount of Charmanders and Squirtles.
Yeah, which was great because those are the ones I love the most.
Yeah, the ones you're most familiar with too.
Yeah.
Um,
Besides a couple of other generations, but like I didn't see a Torchic or anything.
yeah, no Torchics. No, well, Trico was from that generation, but that was it.
Yeah, but I didn't. I thought I did, but I think I might have been imagining it.
No Mudkips, no Blazikins, no Swamperts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was pretty happy with everything I saw. I think just more Ghost Pokemon would have been cool to see,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't make sense to be there.
Yeah. But overall, it was a really good movie in general, especially for like kids. I think like any like 10 and younger around
Would
that
enjoy
age
it.
would enjoy it. Obviously good for like people our age that grew up with the cartoons.
Yeah,
and
if you don't want to
everything.
see anything serious, you're tired of like an Avengers, you don't want to see a John Wick or something, you know, you want something real lighthearted, go see Pokemon. It was a great
Yeah,
movie.
like it's not like too kiddish where you can't enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Good popcorn movie.
Yeah, it's good. It's cute. I'd like to see more, or like another one, and get more Pokemon.
Would you rather be a Detective Pikachu or would you rather it be something else though?
Like a different.
Like a different story where it's like against a Team Rocket or like.
Boy, I would love to see something against a Team Rocket.
I guess that would
Let
be
me
more.
tell you.
It's hard to continue though a Detective Pikachu without that dynamic, I guess. So I think that's where the struggle now comes. Is like they kind of open and close the book really neatly. So where do you go?
Well, I mean, if he's gonna be a detective,
Yeah, I don't know.
you
Maybe
could
he gets.
incorporate Team Rocket in it.
Yeah, I just like I don't
I
know.
love to see a Jesse and James.
Oh my god, you're never gonna get a Jesse and James. What if you get a talking Meowth? What if that's like the next thing?
That'd be cool. I'm cool with that.
Meowth with amnesia. Because you don't see the Doctor. The Doctor never makes a reappearance. I think it's implied maybe she died, but like when the glass shatters out.
Yeah, you don't see anything
But yeah,
from her. She could still be out there.
because there's still a lot of R.
Mhm.
Yeah. But anyway, that's been our spoiler Pokemon review. You know,
It was good.
10 out of 10.
Would recommend.
Maybe not 10 out of 10.
Yeah, maybe not 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 Pokemon wise, the design and everything.
Yes.
Story wise, nothing crazy, nothing special. It was paint by numbers, but it was
is
fun.
what it is.
Yeah,
It was a good time though. Would recommend.
yeah. Not going into this for a hard review.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for listening. This went on way longer than I thought it was going to be,
Same.
but there's a lot of Pokemon to be appreciated, so you know it makes sense. Yeah, I think this will be tomorrow will be like a double day.
Guess
Since
so.
we just recorded our Game of Thrones review as well. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys next time. Gotta catch them all.
Bye.